Hello there, this is Bick Benedict. We're playing DmC Definitive Edition on Gods Must Die difficulty mode, and this is my hardcore run for the aforementioned title and difficulty. We're playing using turbo mode with must style off and Super Dante mode off, obviously. And this is mission 4 of 20, and it's a tough one because there's got to be at least 6 to 7 waves coming up where there is no checkpoint. So you want to be building up your Devil Trigger on this first wave here, which is just some lesser Stygians. But this has caused me the most problems so far in my run, this particular chapter. I knew it because there is no checkpoint, and like I said before, it seems like there should have been one. Maybe there isn't. Maybe it was all part of a one-phase demo or something, because I know the demo took place here. But I have some good strategies for it, and some of them are a little cheap, kind of taking advantage of the environment, but the environment is all you really have sometimes to use, and the smart player will use it to his advantage. So it looks like we have some of these elite Stygians popping up, and I did discover something about the butchers that I probably should have known, but it's just like I never even put 2 and 2 together, and it's strange because you do after fighting something for so long. But I think the butchers self-terminate at some point because they go into rage mode, and I think they just expire. And how many times have you as a player, have I, countless times, trying to put those sons of bitches down and die trying to do it when you can get them to a certain threshold, until they get into that exploding kind of rage mode, and then they just die if you run away. So I'm going to test that, and by the time that I do the second phase of this audio commentary for this video, I will know. And I'm almost positive that it is like that, because that's something that started in DmC 1, even though I didn't get to that game until it was like 10 years old, but I still got to it. But on these Ravagers, I think that's what they're called. It's the level 1 or level 2 charge of the Erics, hands down. I mean, that's the best thing you can possibly do on them. But you just got to watch out. Watch out for that lingering hurt box that I mentioned in Virgil's campaign, and then also watch out for when they're revving up the chainsaw. You have a certain amount of time to do it, and it's pretty good. And you can actually do the aerial charge where it's like a ground slam, and then that kind of resets them and disrupts them and resets all their animations, and they have to start revving up the chainsaw again. It's actually really nice. Now these guys are sons of bitches. These guys, watch how much HP these guys take off my life right here. These are the Pathos enemies with shields. Look how much HP they take off. This is how dangerous like a simple enemy like this can be. It happened right over here. Look at that. Look at that. How many squares was that? Like 7? Just gone. And I couldn't even do anything because he was juggling me right there. But we do have to face some of those guys in the upcoming wave. Not the directly upcoming wave, because there's some Death Knights to deal with. And you can deal with the Death Knights the same way that I've showed you how to deal with the Ravagers. Level 1 or level 2 charges. Level 2 charge is actually a lot better. Obviously, it takes more damage. I think it launches them a little higher up.
Nicely done, girls.
And actually, so the Death Knights, and I think this might be true for the Hell Knights too, but the Death Knights are the ones, these ones right here, that are kind of like gold color, like yellow burnt color. Launch them up, and then you can juggle them in the air with hits, and then when they're falling, just grab them again with the Angel Pull, and then continue to combo them, even though their defense is up because they're Devil Triggered. It's still possible to do that. Another thing that I like about the lock-on and having the health displayed now is that you can pick and choose which enemies. Like if you have 2 enemies left and there's one with more HP, and you want to like use him for something, maybe you want to use him to launch yourself up somewhere, and if there's another enemy alongside him with just a little bit of health, then obviously you can't do much to that guy, because a launch with the Eric's charge is almost going to kill him, or if not outright kill him, depending on his life. But you can, you know, it's nice to be able to see who has what remaining, and I really like that. I appreciate that from the developers. So with these harpies here, watch out for that hurricane little attack that they do. It's an anti-air attack. Pretty much prevents you from air spamming attacks, and I don't mind it since the other flying enemies, they don't have it. I don't think anything like that. When it comes to when I'm trying to think about it, I don't think they have. Obviously, they have those little bows that they shoot, but nothing like that air attack that the harpies do. So watch out for these Hell Knights here. They mostly, like I said in my guide, they mostly focus not on hitting you, but on inflaming the ground. Okay, so there's an ambulance right there. Somebody's hurt. I don't mind it though. Got a little bit of HP left. I am really grateful that they're giving health drops out on this difficulty, as well as the pods, the slugs giving stuff, because yeah, it is incremental. It's not much, but hell, I'll take it. Okay, I do have an update for everybody. You will, even though I said in the beginning of the video that I wasn't going to be using the Super Dante perk, I did have to use it on this gauntlet off camera. Now this gauntlet here, this is a legitimate victory. It's the beginning of a very long checkpoint during which there is no checkpoints to fall back on. There's like 7 phases. This guy pops up right here every single time, so take care of him. But what happened was I did this entire chapter without using Super Dante, and I got to the church and yet again encountered the it's not game-breaking glitch, but it prevents you from finishing the chapter, and it happens to me every time I wage a new campaign, and it forced me to have to restart the mission. So I said, to hell with it. I'm not going to redo everything I did here, you know, and waste my time only to get to the church and have it glitch on me again. So what happened was you know, like all this is fine. I was proud of all this, and it took me a long time to find strategies to deal with these enemies, because there's about 7 or 8 waves and there's no checkpoints. And yet again, I got to the church, and it didn't give me the cutscene which ushers you into the second of the 3 waves, and which gives you a checkpoint. So there's 2 Frost Knights and a Butcher, or a Tyrant, excuse me, and they never come. So I spoke about that glitch last time when I did this guide, but now I'm going to show it, because it's absolutely unacceptable, especially when you're on a really hard level like this. But this is the second phase, and what we're going to do is manipulate the environment, run around this building right here. And there's 3 of these shielded Bethas enemies, so what you can do is use the lock-on and shoot them, and if you want to, you can launch the Butcher, which I'm going to show you how to do. See, these guys can be tossed up into the air and used like that. But when the Butcher comes out, what you want to do is have the Ericsson charge a level 2 charge, launch him, hit him as many times as you can before he falls down to the ground, and then instantly activate double trigger and take as many swipes at him as you can with the sword or the Eric's, or even the Arbiter if you want to. And then that should put him into the what I call the rage mode, in which he will expire given enough time. So I think it's like the best way to take care of that guy. And I'm sorry that it took me so long to figure it out, but okay, so launch him, hit him on landing, do the double trigger, and see, he's now in that mode where it's just a waiting game. You're waiting for him to expire, and there's plenty of room to move around here. So I didn't know that he just terminated, but he does. You'll see him expire over here. So when you're in a small room and there's a lot of other enemies around, fuck, I missed that. God damn it all. There are so many edits over here, you guys, because there should be a checkpoint right here, but there isn't. Sorry about that. I'm sorry I missed that one. But we're coming up to the beginning of the next wave. So what do we have? We have... you're going to have some flying pathos enemies. So what I'm going to do, instead of just trying to deal with them, I sped this up too because I was trying to get all the red orbs. So when you come out here, you're going to get a scene, jump in here, and then go into here. And I'm going to be coming back here when the witch comes as well. Fortunately, they don't seal this room off, so you can go in it. And now it's kind of a cover-based shooter. You want to use this charged shotgun and just use the shotgun and kill these two enemies from the safety of here. You're also going to have, I think, 3 death knights are on the ground waiting for you when you come back. But the flying enemies in this game are really dangerous, especially when there's flying enemies and ground-based enemies, because the lock-on is not trustable, in my opinion, when so much is riding on your failure, you know. Especially here, where if you lose progress, you lose like 10 minutes of hard-earned progress. So we've just got... I think I was wrong. There's just like 2 of these guys. But the thing is, after you complete this wave, you're going to have 2 Medusas and 1 Witch. So what you want to do is take care of the final enemy right before you... Let's see what I have here. I think we've got a couple of Stygians left. And actually what it does is... Okay, so we need to get back into that room that I mentioned upstairs. So if you didn't have these platforms... I guess there's no reason to even talk about that, because you can... There are other ways to get to high ledges, like using the enemy step and things like that. But what I'm going to do now is jump up to these platforms here, and there's an edit right there if you're perceptive, because the camera auto-corrects, so you're going to have to jump in the opposite way. Because whenever there's an enemy on the screen, it auto-corrects. So you want to come up here and take care of this guy from here, so that... you can segregate the witch. See, the harpies and the witch will spawn right now. The harpies don't come in here. Not really anyway, but the witch does. At the end of the battle, the harpies did kind of sneak in here, one of them, but they traditionally stay outside. And this is a much better way of dealing with these enemies. To isolate the witch, it's just nothing like this. It's really helpful. Okay, so once she's dead, it's yet again a cover-based shooter. This took me... I was stuck here. I can't even count how many hours I was stuck here. But with this strategy, it's actually pretty damn good. I mean, if I had known about this originally, I could have done it much quicker. But I did figure it out on my own, and I was happy with the results. So... that is, you know, it's a little it is cautious. Is it cheap? I don't think it's really cheap. It's just that, you know, when you make so much progress and there's not a check, like the checkpoint is 10 minutes ago, you know, or however far back it was. Also, it should be observed that there are 2 health slugs over in this vicinity. There is a divinity statue too, if you want to. So, and the only reason I'm using... I did use... I actually will be using the perk of Super Dante in the church a little bit, because what happened is I got all the way back to the church where the glitch was, and I just wanted to make sure that I didn't die on that first wave, lest the glitch somehow perpetuated itself with a restart of the chapter. So I didn't know if like I died on the first wave that's coming up, it would reset what I had done and glitch out again. So this first area is where the glitch is. Okay, you guys, so this is where the glitch will either happen to you or it won't happen to you. So I can already tell by having done this that the glitch is in effect here. The reason is, when you get to this area here, you're supposed to have elite Stygians spawn in with those flying pathos enemies. And this isn't fast forward now, because on a whim I decided to just stick around and see if the the enemies who are already supposed to spawn, if they'll spawn. And after about a minute, they actually did spawn in. So it was just too long of a wait, so I sped that up. And here, I was kind of hoping at this point that if I killed these enemies, I would get the checkpoint and the cutscene that I was looking for to progress, but it never came. So once I killed these enemies here, you'll see me just running around the church and not able to do a single goddamn thing because the game doesn't work. The scripting is just completely failed. So I have footage of how this works and how this doesn't work. So this is how it doesn't work. So this is the last guy here, and it's supposed to give me that cutscene and a checkpoint, but it doesn't come. So here is me just running around the church, waiting for an event that never triggers. And I even left my game on for about 10 minutes, because before it took a minute for those other enemies to spawn in. But this, I came back after about 10 minutes and I was still standing in the same fucking place over here. And guess what, guys? This is your definitive edition. An abject failure. Now, don't take that too badly. I do realize that there are problems with games sometimes, but even larger games a long time ago, it was a standard for them to work. And these days it just seems like it's too much to ask for a game to even work like it should. But anyway, this is me coming back, exiting out, restarting the mission, and coming back to this location. And I'm using the Super Dante modifier with unlimited double trigger here because I don't want to. First of all, I started the mission with that perk so I could just speed my way through the chapter and get to where I already got, having not used that perk. So I have no hard feelings about this because this is not my fault. It's the developer's fault for not making this work. So this is when you kill this last Stygian. See, you're supposed to have that trigger. See, the close-up of Dante, which gives you a checkpoint, and you're supposed to have this wave here. So that whole business about me running around the church, that was supposed to have the cutscene, and it never came. So I don't think it ever would have come either. But this is how the scripting is supposed to work. And it happens every time on a fresh campaign for me. So I just wanted to bring that attention to people. I wanted to, if I can talk right, I just wanted to bring that to everybody's attention. And I did tweet that out to Ninja Theory. However, I don't know how receptive they are to user complaints, and I don't know how pervasive that issue is. I don't know if it's just an isolated issue with my components, or if it's a larger issue and just not a lot of people have been complaining about it, or if the research I did just wasn't as thorough on the internet as I maybe could have. But I checked for quite a while looking for on forums, especially like GameFAQs, to see if anybody was complaining about it, but I saw no issues on there. But this is the last wave. You've got the Butcher and the Stygians here. Just remember that now we know about the explosion that happens once they're in rage mode. So that is nice to know. And I'm not dissing this game too much. I really love this game. It affords me so much fun and satisfaction when I play this game, but it also engenders a lot of frustration when I see those kind of problems in a game that I paid full price for and which I expected to work without any issues. I can forgive very minor things, but that was a blockade in the progression of my campaign. That should not exist in the first place. I'm sorry about that. I'm harsh about it, but there's just no excuse for it. You guys have to make your games work. So
I am running.
in a definitive edition, I would expect nothing less than, it to work. But I guess that's too much to ask these days, but it shouldn't be.